So I said to him, if you want to get human brains out of your carpet, especially if they're fresh, it's got to be Club Jesus. Hi guys, good evening, welcome to the Dice Gods. My name's Hydra. Perfectly ordinary Monday evening. How are you all? It's good to see you. I hope you're well. Have you had a good day? Clearly I have. So yeah, and I have a voice this week. Look at that, isn't that amazing? All shiny in the corner and stuff. It's, yeah. And Frostfire's going to jump in when he's taking the kids to school because it's 7 AM where he is. You know, sometimes the world just makes your brain hurt. Anyway. Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody? How are we all? Is everybody well? I hope so. I like the fact that I was nearly there with everything. Larkbeard, hello, good evening. Mel Winters, hello, you're well. Good to see you all chaps and chapettes and chappies and chappersons. I don't know. I don't know what the story is with that, but anyway. I just got to click this one over here. Poof. Right. Good. Super. I think we're there. I think we're there. So yes. I think yes. Cool. Chapo, chapstick. You can be a chapstick if you want. Access, good evening, young man. How are you? Are you well? I've got a voice. It's not 100%, but it's 1,000,000% better than it was last week. How's my volume, by the way? Is it good? I think it's... I've been playing around with it. I've been tinkering and poking buttons and stuff, which is just a recipe for disaster. There's no two ways about that. Definitely a recipe for disaster. But we did it anyway, because I like living on the edge. What can I say? Where's this? There's that. I think that's everything. I think that's everything I needed to do. I'm all organised tonight. I don't entirely know what's happened, but here we are. It won't last. It will not last. Boop. And sounds fine to me. Well, it sounds as good as ever. Let's go with... Let's not go too far, Mel. Let's not go too far. How has everybody's gaming week been? Well, week in general. I mean, it's been days since we've hung out. There's been like a whole weekend, during which I spent a good portion of it asleep, having retained said illness from last Monday. Spent most of the week, I spent all of Tuesday pretty much in bed asleep. That was riveting. And a lot of, I think I had a nap on Wednesday as well. I just practiced for old man this week. I just practiced for it. I was like, you know what I'm going to do this week? I'm going to sleep. And I'm quite good at it, to be honest with you. I am quite skilled at such things. But, all right, hang on. I can see that's a bit much of me. I don't like that so much. Hey, Blissful Badger, hello, how are you? Good to see you, buddy. Everything good with you? So yeah, after that, it was mostly just trying to get better, which is really tedious. But it needed to be done, because, you know, got to get well and all that jazz. Why are you doing this? Stop it. No, I don't know. My software is just not behaving itself tonight. Could be me. Probably is me. But anyway, I realised with a friend of mine after a few games that Karakuri are hard counter for assassins. They almost negate most of the... Karakuri are a hard counter for most things. If you've never played, if you've never faced Karakuri as a unit, there is very little in the game they don't have some type of answer for, whether it's just violence or no, you just can't kill me. That's kind of how they work. And the output on them is also quite just hilariously stupid. From memory, they have normally a ballistic weapon of some choice, some flavour. My favourite of choice was Mark 12, because Mark 12s are good. With a template, I think it's only a chain Colt, but it might be a chain rifle. And then a Panzerfaust as well. So it's kind of like any particular issue that you come up against that can be resolved with a bullet, they have a bullet for that job. Heavy armour, yeah, no problems. You know, lots of cheap, easy stuff to kill. You can plop that. I'm supposed to sleep and not have a tent party. You're supposed to have a tent party. If tent parties are always a thing, nameless stranger. But yeah, so you have those. They're a specialist as well. They have armour. They have multiple wounds. They're just kind of, yeah, a flash pulse. That's it. There's very little that isn't drastically impeded by the liberal application of Karakuri. And I think in Oban as well, they can go in a fire team, which there should be in Shinden. It's in the book. It's literally... There are things I'll never forgive CB for, and that is one of them. Anyway. Blissful Badger, life is fine. Trying to do some housework, paint an army, and still relax a bit. So brush in one hand, vacuum in the other while sat down. Is that looks like something entirely different. Let's not do that. Anyway, always time for tent parties. What? So I've mentioned Liquid Neko, just in case someone wants to see them. Yeah, there's nothing friendly about Karakuri. There's nothing friendly about Karakuri, and that's why I love running them. But I don't like receive. It's better to give than receive when it comes to Karakuri. You want to give them to people, not have them given to you. So, so the whole thing about the tents is because on Discord this week, for the member Discord, there was a whole discussion about intent. I have opinions. I know that's going to come as a shock because I'm not a very opinionated human being. I'm quite chilled and relaxed, but I am vaguely opinionated at certain points, and we're going to talk about that. Things are well here. Won a league game of War Machine over the weekend after getting some painting done, and now enjoying a pretty well dead day at the office. Nice. Mel Winters, that is the way forward. There's nothing finer than a victory under your belt, and yeah, and a chill day at the office. This is the way it should be, especially on a Monday. You don't want anything too hectic on a Monday. That's not what Mondays are for. Today the eldest was off school, so I had both the little ones with me all day, which I'm not 100%. I know I look dashing and gorgeous as usual, so you wouldn't believe I was actually ill, but I am. And I had both of the girls with me today, so that was brilliant. Actually, I love hanging out with my kids. They are like the best people in the world ever. So that was good fun. We enjoyed that. That was nice. That was happy Hydra time. But yeah, and then tomorrow work. So that's going to be that's not the same type of joy. Although I'm going to have fun. Tomorrow we're going to finalise the the review of Queen's Blade, so that goes out, so you can comment on that. And you comment on that, you go into the draw. Yay! And then I have a video for members to do. We're going to talk about the list that I ran at my last Escalation League game a couple of weeks ago. So that's cool. I'm going to do that for you guys. I've got some other bits. It's a busy day tomorrow. We're going to do that. Immunity also makes them a slog to see. Yeah. That's just... Oh, it's 3 structure now, isn't it? Yeah, Karakuri, you're brilliant. Mal, tell me more. Your War Machine game. How many points is War Machine now? Have they adjusted that? Because I know that there's been a big, or I think there's been a big update since it went over to the guys at Thingy whose names I've forgotten. And what do you play? Which faction? The people need to know. I haven't played. War Machine is tempting. There's a lot of systems around at the moment that are very tempting. We're trying to ignore most of them. All of them. We're trying to ignore all of them. That's the word I was looking for. All of them. Supposed to sleep and not have a 10 party. Nameless person, always time for a 10 party. Don't talk about that later. And nothing really got released this week. There was nothing like exciting to dive on and be like. So 54, but I'm playing the Chimera faction. Oh, so this just a cute spelling of Chimera by the looks of things. Let's have a look. What are you playing? Steamfall games. Oh, beasties. Oh, beasties. Many, many beasties. Dragons and beasties. Beasties and beasties. Because you did the wormy dudes on the Worm Spine. Did you do those? Was that them that you put on the Discord? So cool. Shadows and Scum. That, no. Right. Close that window. No one wants to see that. We don't want to see that. Shampoo, I'm not responding to that. Oh! Otto Poetic, thank you very much for joining us at Acolyte. That's fantastic. You go into the draw to win. What a perfect moment to talk about it. You go into the draw to win yourself a copy of Eldfall Chronicles. If you haven't seen Eldfall Chronicles, it is a skirmish scale war game from Free Company. And basically this month they're partnering up with us, and we're going to take all the people that like on stream become a member or do a super chat or anything like that, or upgrade their membership or any kind of that insanity, and all the names are going to go into a hat, and well, probably a little program. Anyway, in January, and we're going to draw a name, and then if your name comes out, then you get to pick one of the 2-player starter sets that they do, which has 4 miniatures for each side. So there's 8 miniatures and 9 miniatures in there because you get a bad guy, and all the things you need basically to play apart from terrain and a table. And you could win one, and you could choose which one of the 2 you want, and we'll send it to you, and it'll turn up in the post. It'll be glorious, and you'll get your paws on one of the most fantastic starter boxes I've seen in a while. The box is pretty. The contents are stunning, the miniatures are great, and the game is a genuine blast. So, you know, you're in with a chance. You may win one. Congratulations, and thank you so much for supporting the channel. That is incredibly kind. Really, really appreciate that. Robo Dragons, yeah. It's one of those things. I've seen them, and they're very, very cool. And War Machine as a whole is very, very cool. I've played it, and it was a lot of fun, but no, I'm not doing it. Well, thank you, Ottopoetic. Thank you for coming, and well, I appreciate you becoming a member. So look in the channel at one of the member messages, and you'll find a link to the Discord. Please click that. Come join the Discord and enjoy this group of reprobates and insane people to talk about wargaming. We basically enable each other, is essentially what happens. Any bad idea you've ever had as a wargamer and been like, no, I can't do that, that's too stupid, we will support you in making that decision. We will make it both good and virtuous to follow your every wargaming instinct. You know, loving the Eldfall content. Thank you so much. There is a lot more to come. As I have said in various places, we're going to be doing 4 videos this month, which if you comment on those, now you remember, you'll get 3 entries into another draw, because there's two chances to win a 2-player starter set. And look out for those. There's 3 more videos coming this month for Eldfall, and then starting in January, at some point in January, we're going to be doing Learn to Play Eldfall as a series as well. So I'm painting at the moment. Painting my guys up. I need to see me for this one. There we go. So I'm painting my guys up. I'm working on a bushy attendant at the moment. There's camera. Focus. Damn you. Anyway, so I'm working on my bushy attendant at the moment. He's going together. He's getting there. The scheme's kind of working. I'm digging that, so that's good. But lots more to go. And for those who joined the stream on Thursday and saw the progress of that, yes, I've done a bit more. Well, I know I didn't do it on the stream. I wasn't feeling it. Actually, it was really late at night and I wanted to go to bed. So I was like, do this quickly, and then sadly I have Scorn, Legion and Circle from 2nd to 3rd edition. Yeah, they just nuked everything, didn't they, Blissful Badger? That's one thing that definitely happened with War Machine, was just boom from orbit, and yeah. I thought about, that was about the AO ones on IJW. What? I don't know what that means. Hate to ask this question, but Warcrow versus Eldfall. Your credit, I binge watched all your videos on Eldfall, and I'm getting a starter in January. Woohoo! Eldfall versus Warcrow. Oof! Oh, they are different beasts. They are different beasts. I need you all of you, to just, for a moment, take the Seocast issue from Warcrow, lift the stinking remains of that conversation and place it off to one side. We're just going to flop that off out the way. Just lay it there. It can, you know, most of us have heard the argument. Ottopoetic, exactly. I like Warcrow, but I hate Seocast. So between the two, if we just take the 2 games on face value, what do I love about both of them? I love the scale of Eldfall. It is smaller, it is more compact. You're dealing with normally 4 miniatures per side. There are some faction differences, but at the current levels, about 4 miniatures per side. The miniatures themselves are stunning. They are absolutely beautiful. Incredibly well done, incredibly well thought out. If you saw the unboxing and the build that I did the other day for Queen's Blade, that's the frustrating thing. That's the standard experience with Eldfall. You just put these miniatures together just so easily and so quickly and so efficiently, it's just great, and I love that. Such a great experience. The rules themselves remind me of Infinity N3, so they are a little clunky at points. There are a couple of things that take a degree of getting used to. By that I mean that at the top of the cards you will have like a unit class rogue, but on the card, on the stat card, there is no indication what that means. You have to know what rogue means or know where to look it up, and then you can find out what that does, and then you can figure out the interaction. That can feel a little bit like, and the same with magic. It's not on the cards, the unit cards that you get. You have to look that you get the spells, but you have to look the spells up in the book and then use the book. It can be a little bit clunky on that side of things. Warcrow, by comparison, I love the scale. It's bigger. It's 20, 25 miniatures. It feels meatier. It feels like you've got a bigger thing going on. You know, the miniatures, when they work and they go together, they're beautiful. Some of them are a challenge, both in, I'm not talking about the material, but the way that they go together. I'm working on some arquebuses at the moment, or I will be when the replacement parts come in. And some of those are just not well constructed, they're not well considered, and that's true of some of CB stuff as a whole. There are certain miniatures that you just think, how did you think this was a good idea? I talked about it the other day actually on Discord. The 112 paramedic, who's just his wrist, he's taken off at the wrist, and he's got a hand with a really big axe in it. He's holding it out to one side. And it's just like, don't do that. It really sucks to work with. If you get it right, you're fine, and if you don't, it's harsh. So the gameplay, the way that the system works, Warcrow, it's fun, it's fluffy, it's interesting. There's an ebb and a flow to it. There's a nice way that it plays. Warcrow is lighter. Eldfall is meatier. Eldfall is quicker because it's smaller. Given the choice of playing the two, I'm gonna play Eldfall. Just because I've been playing Infinity so long that given the choice of the two, I will want to get my teeth into something crunchy. I will want to play a system that lets me dictate what I'm doing rather than tells me how I should be playing, basically. So, you know, but they're both good systems and they both do different things. They very much do different things. So I have a massive amount of love for both of them. So yeah, your mileage may vary. It depends whether you like crunchy. But Warcrow is a nice break from Infinity. Warcrow is a nice step away from the heaviness. You know, it's fluffier, it's more about positioning and stuff, whereas, yeah, Eldfall is kind of like, right, I don't like the last few remaining brain cells that I've got, let's see what I can do to mess them up. So okay, that was a really quick answer. I wonder if I am capable of answering a question quickly. I'm not even remotely. It's just not in my nature. I love when I monologue that both like Twitch and YouTube just go quiet. Everyone sits and listens. This is why I call my members my congregation, because you guys just sit and listen. Well, I just have a mini mental and emotional breakdown at you. Thanks for that. But yeah, so XS, so I hope that answers your question. And which starter did you go for Eldfall? Which one did you choose? Because that's important. I may have views, depending on which one you chose. If it's murder elves, we're having words. And Larkbeard, you need to tell me how to say your name. Because I keep saying it wrong in the videos, and you keep telling me I'm saying it wrong, and I'm like, well, tell me how to say it right, and you never do. It's very disappointing. Highly disappointing. Ba-da-ba-bum. was that? Sitting here enjoying the pontification. Right, absolutely. On Saturday, this week on Saturday, we have our community blissful badger. I'm sorry. Are you joining me on hobby time? So you're going to be doing hobby, and I'm just going to be talking. That works fine. We also respond to thumbs up and middle fingers. Those also are good for communication. I don't know yet. Girlfriend is deciding which miniatures she likes more. I really like the wizards. Ooh, Sand Kingdoms. Oof, Sand Kingdoms. So yes, it's our Christmas do for the our local club on Saturday night. We have a wonderful gala evening hosted by one of our members. He owns a restaurant, and we're going to invade en masse. I think there's 34 of us going, including one-on-one. So don't justify your poor decision making based on it being Magic access. Very disappointed. Clearly, you should play Soga. Anywho. But it would be boring if everybody played Soga. You know, you can't all be the good guys. Anywho, so Saturday we have it will be our fourth annual Christmas party. Cool. Wow, really? 4? Damn. That's scary. Although I think the first 2 were more like a group of friends getting together and have beers. But it's technically not. I don't care about your spells, but pokey sticks. It's a mature response. So yeah, but as part of that, I get to stand up and do a little bit of a speech. So you think that one was epic? Oh my goodness. Once per year I get to tell my players what I think about them. And some of it's nice. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. That's going to be fun. If always a little nerve-wracking. Oh, it's one of those things. I can talk to you guys for ages. Well, no, I can talk for ages. I was going to say, but you know, in public, no, I don't have the same. I can waffle. It doesn't mean to say I'm not nervous. Public speaking is one of those things, isn't it? Standing in front of a group of strangers is one thing. I'm better at standing in front of a group of strangers. In front of a group of friends who I know and know me, it's like, hello, I like you, you're right, you are. All quality goes out the window, if ever there was any. So if you're going for Sand Kingdoms, then she's going Murder Elves. Yeah, that's one of the options. Wally Paparazzi, Eldfall is great, but I find the games can be quite swingy, mostly because of the small model count, which I like on one hand, but on the other hand, important models can die quickly, and there are seldom fallbacks. That's absolutely true. I think it's interesting. Yeah, so basically, it's the snowball effect. If it comes unstuck in Eldfall, it tends to disintegrate quite quickly. If you get in a position where an enemy can take out key units, I mean, at the first Dutch Eldfall tournament, like this year, I played in it. My friend was TOing and I played, and I think it was my second game. My opponent mispositioned, basically. He was inexperienced, he mispositioned. And I had the choice of either playing properly or pulling. And to pull, it would have been a massive, like, it would have been very obvious. And I didn't really want to do that. I didn't think that was valuable. So I played properly. And essentially, at the end of my first turn, he was crippled. And that's what can happen in a low model count game. But Free Company have increased the number of points. So you've gone from 65, I think it was, to 85 now is the standard game size. So we've gone from 3 miniatures to 4 to, you know, offset that a little bit, to mitigate that a little bit. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. In Infinity, the system is as deadly, but there are more models. That's true. Well, that is absolutely true. And Gears, sorry, I didn't see you there with the yeah, hello, buddy. And the Santa as well. I very much appreciate that. And Kaz, you snuck in, you little sneaky sneakums. Hello, buddy. I was in the middle of pontificating, according to Mal Winters. So, you know, thank you for the hearts. Appreciate that. I agree with you, Ollie Paparazzi. And Infinity can be more deadly because, for example, the AROs are not limited. Because you are limited in Eldfall to the number of responses you can give when reactive. A quick rundown if you're not familiar. In Infinity, every time a miniature activates in your zone of control or your line of fire, you may respond to it. Shoot it, dodge, whatever. But in Eldfall, you may react if an enemy activates a miniature in your line of fire and you have stamina remaining, which is normally 2. So you can react twice. And the third one, you're taken to the face. So a sly opponent will force you to react to things that aren't that deadly and then absolutely slap you with something that is when you can't afford to react or you're not able to react anymore. So there's a different set of skills and concepts inside of Eldfall, but that does make it does reduce the amount of deadliness that can happen because of that. The ARO system, the reaction system is, balancing itself. More points in Eldfall means more upgrades and stuff, from what I understand. Yeah, but when you go up to 85 points, you're kind of at a 4th miniature. At 65, you're kind of at 3, and 85, you're kind of at 4. I think it's wise. So like my bushy over here, we're going to get a second one of those in the reinforcements box, so I've been told, for Soga. These guys are quite cheap, so I would probably run, or I could potentially run 2 bushies at 85 points and get upgrades for the remaining on the 20-point increase. So yeah, you're going to get more stuff, more toys, effectively. So, and if you do like Eldfall and you want some, just to remind everyone, if you do a super chat or you become a member during the stream tonight, then you'll go into the draw to win a 2-player starter set of your choice. So, XS, if you become a member, a subscriber on Twitch, which you can do if you've got Amazon Prime. You can do it for free. You can do like 1 subscription for free. So you can subscribe for free. And then it still counts. So you still go into the thing. I'm really doing a great job of explaining my world away tonight, aren't I? I think I'm doing a classic job. I'm built for this, clearly. But yeah. Not 100% still. But hey-ho. Hey-ho. We're doing really well, though. I have to say, Twitch has kind of like jumped up, and the stream that I did last Thursday, where I was painting, I'm going to keep getting this guy down, the bushy. I'm still working on this paint scheme. I'm not 100% with it. I think it needs a bit more. Anyway, we did really well. We had I spent like an hour painting, and it went really, really well. I was really impressed. I really appreciate everyone that came and joined on that. It was cool. Welly, what do you say? Sometimes I wonder if Eldfall would be easier if I didn't know Infinity so well. The systems are so close that some of the differences, e.g. dodging, are quite confusing. The models are amazing. No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Especially if I found that when I spent a period of time playing Eldfall ahead of the tournament and then jumped back to Infinity, part of my brain went, oh, you succeeded at the dodge, nothing happens. No. Got to compare it. Damn it. It's very disappointing. So I know what you mean. It's a curse and a blessing, but I think because I played Infinity for N3, it's like putting that old, slightly musty smelling fur coat back on of like, oh yeah, no, we've been here before. Yeah, I know how this works. It's fine. Yeah. Although it does mean that I do end up with extra N3 rules coming back into my N5 and just confusing things entirely. So you're probably onto something, but it doesn't mean to say I'm going to stop because it's brilliant. Especially with some of the stuff they have planned. Oh my goodness. My goodness, it's pretty. So yeah. And who else has done some hobby this week? Anything exciting? So hang on, Welly, what do you play? Because if you're playing Eldfall, I need to sort of judge your character as a human being. Which faction or factions do you play? Or are you one of us few disappointing people who's bought pretty much everything? Although I haven't bought Northern Wind yet. North Wind? Northern Wind. that was one thing that really completely messed with my head. The first release for Warcrow was Winds from the North, and then we had the two-player, the board game dungeon crawler from Eldfall was Northern Wind. Wind from the North and Northern Wind. I was like, how am I supposed to remember? I'm old and easily confused. But yes, Wally, what do you play? Don't drink the paint water. I'm not going to drink the paint water. I haven't done it. I've not done that on stream yet. I've only streamed painting once. No, twice. I did once with the Big Boy, with the trip hammer, and I managed not to. Well, that was so I was two. Never say never. No, okay, no, fair one. I'm sorry, yes, that's absolutely a fair point. Which army in Eldfall has flyers? I'll play that one. Judge you now. None, Kaz. I do judge you. I find it best to judge you when your name first appears. It saves time. But there's currently no flyers in Eldfall. Oh no, no, there is. Sand Kingdoms. They have a flying carpet. That is legitimate. In fact, this young lady over here, you can't see it because I've not painted it, but she's actually on a flying carpet. She's actually on a floaty flying carpet. So, you know, that is a thing. Sand Kingdoms. Magic Carpet Ride, yes, classic song. But I think last time I placed a Sand Kingdoms with one of those, it got stabbed to death, which I quite enjoyed. To be honest with you, I did quite enjoy that one. My opponent didn't, because his entire army just went bleh. But I had fun with it, which I find important. I played Aladdin in 3rd grade. You could make a flying... Kaz, if anyone can make a flying carpet work, it would be you, my friend. I have complete confidence in your ability to be a gamey... Anyway. Yes. So, still, Sand Kingdoms is one of the few that I don't... I love the concept of the summoning mechanic and like bringing things into existence and stuff, but it's not me. It requires a tactical precision and a finesse, which I'm not even going to say that I'm lacking. It's just outright not my thing. Dear Lord. Sorry, we live near an airbase and there is something very, very big taking off. That's exciting. Speaking of magic carpet rides, no idea what that was. Anywho, so yes, what else are we going to talk about tonight? So we're going to talk about intent. I thought, no one's mentioned the thumbnail. I thought that thumbnail was brilliant. I guess like, to understand that some factions in Eldfall can summon creatures. Yes, Sand Kingdoms do and Oni do, and I think some other ones do or will. So with the Sand Kingdoms, they bring things like, see, Mal Winters knows. He knows his stuff. They bring like Sphinx and stuff into existence, and then you can just launch those at the enemy because your actual main units are incredibly squishy. So you end up needing that kind of those more warm bodies basically between you and the stabby stuff is essentially where it is. What I want to find, I'm just trying. Every time I go into the Eldfall website, it does the thing where it goes, hey, do you want to sign up to our... No, I don't. Thank you for asking. There we go. Right. Don't like that. There. This is for purpose. There is value to what we're doing. Believe me. I'm not ignoring you. I got stuff for you. Where'd it go? Ah, nuts. Downloaded the thing and now I can't find the thing. Ah, there it is. Right. So yeah, with Sand Kingdoms, what's going to happen if I click that button? Oh, that's what's going to happen. There you go. that's what Sand Kingdoms can summon. This is a separate box you have to buy, but this guy's like, the big guy is like 14 centimeters tall, and you've got the two earth elementals, sorry, and golems as well, and gargoyles, not sphinx, gargoyles. So they've got all that going on, essentially, which is really, really funky. I mean, hell to the yes, but it's not for me. It's not my shtick. I've got to be honest. End of the day. Apply sock to face. Hello, machine. Welcome. Good to see you, buddy. He did find the thing. I always find the thing. I know what the thing is. It's just, you know. I guess I'm buying both boxes if girlfriends decide to go with the other one. Right. Just bear in mind that box that I had on screen that you just saw, excess, you will need to buy that separately. That's not in the box. That is another thing that you need to get. So just bear that in mind, because it's €99.90 to buy the Earth and Creatures expansion. So that is not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. Cool, yes, but not cheap. And it's kind of, I think that's probably one of the, for me, that's one of the downsides of Sand Kingdoms. I'm not a huge fan of the playstyle, but also the fact that you need to get them both, you know. Never stop adding to the pile, that is the way. This is the way, you're quite right. More stuff for the stuff god. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Machine, are you not playing tonight? I'm impressed. I thought you'd be on TTS by this point. That's what I normally expect you to be doing. I'm sure you have somebody to teach to play. Boop, boop. Oh my goodness. Sorry, just checking all the updates that come. As soon as you go live anywhere, you just get this massive stuff that gets sent through. It's quite amazing. It is quite amazing. Demos for the demo god, indeed. It's nice actually, Machine has been helping and supporting me in taking on some of the newbies from the local community and bringing them on. I still have one this week, I think. Yes, I've got one this week. So that's going to be cool. But yeah, Machine is helping because we're down to, actually no, we're up to 16 technically. So more is fine. Just purchased a ton of new Battletech recently. Now, important question, Blissful Badger, because this is important. You got any bushwhackers in that mass that you've just purchased? Airbrushing. Good job. Good job, Machine. Had a quadruple demo last Thursday. That was exhausting. Yeah, no, I wouldn't do quads. I would not do quads. I've done like a double and a single in a day, and that was just enough. Because on the single, I was just like, yep, miniatures, dice, throw it, it's fine. Yeah, but bravo. Are they all joining in, or are they still having a think? Mel Winters already have a backlog of things to paint. Might as well look at getting more. I mean, sure. I understand. I'm being good at the moment, actually. I'm being good. So I've got all of Shock Army now, pretty much around. So I've just got to get that done. I need to finish some Eldfall and some Warcrow, because I need those to shoot videos for you guys of how to play those systems. And I don't think pushing grey miniatures around a board is particularly nice, to be honest with you. So I've got to get those all painted up and done and pretty. And I also like to paint my own stuff, so it's not like I can send them out to commission. I've thought about that before. I was like, oh, I could give them something else to paint. No, mine. My toys. Great. So, with the nasty part of my job out of the way, not to hijack the stream, but have you seen Blackout? It looks like Mini Infinity. I have seen Blackout. I've heard good things about Blackout. No, I'm not doing it. No, not interested. It's supposed to be very good and supposed to be very interesting, but I know what's coming next. There is a, if I can take on more systems, it's this, then that. So Seems to be working. One pair has a couple of friends that seem convinced. The other pair was a couple where the man is red hot about the game while his wife is a little less so. Yeah, I can get that. I can absolutely get that. Good job. Yeah, that's nice. Good job, buddy. 3, I mean, if the wife isn't convinced, I don't know whether that will impact the husband or not, but 3 guys out of 4 is not a bad conversion rate. He says, yeah, then you just got to take them all and teach them the rest of the game. What could go wrong? Hang on, Blissful Badger, there were no bushwhackers in the Battletech that you got. Why did you buy it? I don't understand. I do not understand. I used to play a lot of MechWarrior Online. A lot of MechWarrior Online, and the Whacker, the Bushwhacker, is definitely my favourite. Has been since MechWarrior 2, I think. And so I own. It's what if you've never played MechWarrior Online, you get multiple. You get chassis with different weapons and such that they can field, and you'll get inside of that range different types. Hang on a sec. 1 second. Sorry, back in the room. So yeah, you'll get multiple, like Bushwhacker will have different variants and they can have different loadouts and stuff. And I think I own one of every main type of Bushwhacker, one of the special editions of each type of Bushwhacker, and then multiples of some of them. Because it's a Bushwhacker, it's great. It's just a little medium mech of absolute violence. So, it's nice. We love that. And you have to own Bushwhackers if you're going to play. Otherwise, you're not even playing BattleTech. I'm very confused, very disappointed. Already got the soundtrack built and partially painted. Damn, that's when you know that the conversion has happened. The soul has been purchased. You own them now. When they bought into the box set and it's already being painted. Job done. Do you have any recommendations for a fun dungeon crawler co-op tabletop game? Trying to find something buddies would want to play without wargaming or D&D level of commitment. How crunchy? That's the thing. How crunchy do you want to go? Because on that kind of, yeah. Because if they don't want to have any type of commitment, then most dungeon crawlers are out. The obvious ones being Northern Wind for Eldfall. That is supposedly stonking. I've not played it yet because I'm avoiding it like the plague. But that is a quite crunchy, very pretty dungeon crawler. You have the Walker Adventures. That's another one, but again, crunchy. You need to commit multiple to it. You know, this is a sort of stacked story that you need to work your way through. So if they kind of want to do once every 9 months, probably not going to work. That's the problem. So it depends how detailed and crunchy you want it to be, Kaz. To be honest. Blissful Badger, Scorpion Goliath and Bane 3 were partly to blame. What flavour of Pano do I get next? NCA, Varuna, Sval or Kestrel? Everyone's got Kestrel these days. Sval is fairly popular in the local community. I'd go Neoterran Capitoline Army, to be honest with you. You'll need to drop the national debt of a small country to buy all the miniatures for it, but my god, it will be worth it because NCA is just badass. And I think they got a bit of a buff in the latest update as well from memory. I need to dive into that a little bit more. I've been avoiding it because I'm a huge Bolt fan. And now Bolts have got marksmanship built in. It's just like, oh. Guess something on the zombie side level. Honestly, that is not my wheelhouse. That is not something that I can speak about with any degree of familiarity, because I spend... Wargaming is my hobby. That's the whole shtick that I do. And much as I do dip in and out of bits and pieces of board games, I am a filthy casual. I think the crunchiest one that I own is Eclipse, which granted is very crunchy, but I'll fits and starts with that. So I'll play it like, I don't know, if the wife permits it, twice a month. You get it out, play it, and then do that for a couple of months, and I'll be like, right, done, and then I'll leave it alone for 18 months. So, yeah, it's one of those things. So, does anyone have any recommendations for Kaz along the lines of Zombicide? So a dungeon crawler, co-op, tabletop game. Something in that territory. Frosty, good day. You dropped the kids off then. Bonza, time to put a shrimp on the barbie. Just, you know, it's obligatory. I had to. You've got the... I need paint on them, so airbrushes on. Well, then, Neoterran Capital Line Army, if you own all of the miniatures already, Machine, then just paint them. That is the thing you should do. Now, Winters, I got the Sandtrap folks glued together. Not primed yet, still have to build the Beyond Sandtrap folks. Do it now. Larkbeard, yes, a Zombicide-like game. Kaz has needs. It's been a while since bots gained that marksmanship. Yeah, but, so... Shock Army back on Cemento, first love. Neoterran Capitoline Army, second love. Sold both. Then they went out of production. So I stopped looking. At that point, I don't want to know. Because if they get buffed, regret comes in. And there's already regret there, and I don't need more. So... yeah, that's kind of where we were. I know there's like 5,000 Zombicides. You want something like that, but a bit crunchier. Do you have any recommendations for a fun dungeon crawler co-op tabletop game? What we need is Problem, because Problem is great at that kind of thing. Machine, can you poke Problem and see where he is? It's very disappointing he's not here. Frosty, correct, and made it in time for horrible Aussie impressions. You're welcome, mate. Bonza. And all that stuff. I like to kind of meet your expectations, and just meet what you're after. Let's be honest. It's first thing in the morning. You're probably feeling quite good about yourself. You've looked out the window. It's sunshiny. It's warm. It's all Australian. I mean, you can't get a decent cup of tea for love nor money, but that's neither here nor there. And frankly, the beer's terrible, but you're still probably feeling pretty good about yourself. I need just to bring you down a little bit. Just bring you down a little bit and just make you grounded for the day. That's what we're aiming to do, and you're welcome for that. Gloomhaven. Machine, Gloomhaven is not fun and sort of light commitment. Gloomhaven is a life sentence. Gloomhaven is something that you will your grandchildren to finish for you. Dear Lord. Hero Quest. That might be a shout, Larkbeard. Kaz, Hero Quest. That's a good call. Sword and sorcery is bound to cause issues and ruin friendship. We're not suggesting things that are going to break friendship. It's supposed to be fun. Not always. I think there's a Witcher thing. Yeah, but I thought the Witcher thing was also quite Gloomhaven-y, crunchy type thing. Yeah, there must be betrayal and volatility. Yeah, absolutely. Gloomhaven, might as well suggest Kingdom of Death. Yeah, no, absolutely. Machine, just because you could get through it all in one weekend. I will attack your beer every time of the day. You shouldn't be anywhere near it. It's too early. Put it down. Put it back in the fridge. My good God, man. Yeah, not Gloomhaven, Frosthaven. I can check out Hero Quest. Yeah, do. That is... yeah, Hero Quest's a good shout. Good call. Larkbeard, bravo. Do we want crunchy or not? We want casual. Casual dungeon crawler is what is the aroma I'm getting here from Kaz. He's giving off that kind of filthy casual... comes in, needs to be refreshed to the rules every time you play it type vibe. You know that kind of thing, Larkbeard? You know the type. Not Kaz himself, just his friends. And you can tell a lot about a man by the people he spends his time with. Anyway, and I'm with you guys. Anyway, let's move on from there. Descent, Legends of the Dark. Never heard of it. No, have heard of it. Know nothing about it. That's more accurate. Descent, Larkbeard at the same time as Machine. Kaz, Descent, Legends of the Dark. This has come from two visionaries in the field. Put that on the list. Kaz, start a list. Absolutely. The congregation recommends. Oh my goodness me. So yeah, where are we at? Where are we at? Oof. Do not forget, chaps, if you want to be in with a chance of winning, then bits on Twitch. I think that's the right term. I don't know. I've never received any. Or become a subscriber on Twitch, or become a member on YouTube, or a super chat on YouTube, and you go into the pool to win a 2-player starter set of Eldfall Chronicles, which is a good life choice, because then you're going to be part of the new hotness. And to be honest with you, there is some really good stuff they've got planned coming up for the years ahead. They've already started off the official tournament type series, which is great. But yeah, it's definitely a great time to get into the system, especially because you can pick up the whole game for not a ridiculous amount of money currently. So, and then rank the list once you've played them all, Kaz. Yes, Kaz, I want you to come back and tell me which one's the best out of all of those ones that you play. And whoever recommended the game that you choose and find the best first will get 6 months free membership on Patreon. There you go. No pressure. And the one who recommended the one you like the least gets banned. It's a really simple equation. So, you know, no pressure. Old man, what's up, all? Ice Bear in here, it's always fun to see you, although I can't believe it's not your bedtime. It's past 8 PM, surely you should be in bed, child. Yes. Ice Bear in here, in case none of you know, is a good friend who lives not a million miles away from me, and is around university age, which I find both disgusting and disturbing. I don't think that's a real age anymore. Little stinker, good life choice, I'm sure, of course. Yes, Machine, the Ulan is AVA 2 in NCA. So, you know, camo tag times 2, why the heck not? I don't know why you wouldn't. Now, Winters, the Kingdom Death minis are gorgeous, but the game is so much to buy into. Seen some minis that were painted by Zabitico, I think it is, and they're so pretty. Yeah, that's Kingdom Death minis is ringing bells. It's definitely ringing bells. Kingdom Death's more than halfway a cult. The man is a psychopath. Nice. Standard wargaming thing these days. You have to be completely fanatical to play anything, I think. I haven't played a game in 2 months. I'll review and try those games within 3 years at this point. Kaz, lack of commitment. Honestly, if this is the level of commitment you're going to bring to the experimentation that our community stood up for you and gave their expertise, their opinion, their view, just for you. And then you're like, well, I'll do it eventually. Oh, dude. Very disappointed. That's the standard Star Wars Legion player that's out there these days. Maybe I shouldn't get involved. That's all I'm going to say. All on you, Kaz. Ice Bear here. You could have been my dad, but you're not. You can't tell me what to do. Everything about that sentence disturbs me, Ice Bear here. I may need therapy. You will need therapy. Little stinker, Kingdom Death looks so great, but the exclusivity is put me off for me, alongside not wanting most of the minis on display shelf for the world to see. Excuse me. Yeah. Okay, right, we're looking at... Are we going to look? No, we're not. I'm going to be good. It's a lot of FOMO. Oh, is there like a release schedule on it? I don't... Way too harsh a vibe, Hobie. You know I love you really, Kaz. I'm only playing. You know I'm playing. But I think you've got some good options there, although by the sound of things, getting involved with Kingdom Death may end up with you both bankrupt and in a corner rocking. So I've not looked at Kingdom Death recently. It rings bells. What's going on here? Boutique Nightmare Horror, that's always worrying. Yeah, those are pretty miniatures. Those are pretty miniatures, it has to be said. But anytime it's miniatures, finely crafted artwork. Yeah, that's going to be expensive. Straight away. Yes, yes. You are beautifully animated. Okay, that is a scary looking monster with boobs. I'm so conflicted right now. Here we are. Is there like a starter? I don't seem to be able to find one. Oh, game. Kingdom Death Monster. Yep, that appears to be the one. Cool, $444. Hot dickety dog. That is some level of commitment. My God, even it almost makes GW look reasonable. So yeah, what a miss. Oh God, I've got to kill Streamlabs. I'm sorry, Larkbeard. I keep me right. Hang on. Need a bit of paper. Need a pen. I don't have a bit of paper. Oh God. Streamlabs needs to get killed because it's doing this a lot recently. It's really annoying me. I mean, half of the theme is you're building a community in a mad dimension and your dudes either die gruesomely or go mad. Dear Lord, do not stream that way. No, 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 no. Right, so it's a main box and then all the... Yeah. Rensselaer, you'd be amazed what I can do with a pen. But to make a note so that I don't forget, because every time I'm on Twitch, Streamlabs helps by nuking somebody that's talking to me, which is exciting. But I don't want it to do that, so I need to kick it in the bits. Believe you me, it's not for lack of trying, way too hard. Sorry, Cab, the man's already attacked my beer and I'm drinking at 8 AM. I'm English. If I'm mean to you, I like you. If I'm nice to you, worry. It's a very simple equation. Damn dude, attacking beer, flyers, and a hardworking American. I attacked a hardworking American? Pretty sure there is fighting words. Always. Dear Lord. It's a mess. Okay. Makes GW almost look reasonable. Almost. Your youngest is looking to get into Warhammer. Wow. Yeah. That is the parental nightmare there, isn't it? It is the whole, yeah, don't look at those. Look at these. Put a kidney on eBay first. Oh, don't. Do not even go there. The price of GW, the amount that's rocketed. Blasted thing went from 50 to 90 euros. Yeah, I can believe it. Dude, oh God. I remember buying, so, okay, I started 40k in Rogue Trader, okay? Let's just get that out the way. Just get that and push it out the way. I remember buying a box set of 2 Predators for, I think, £15. I don't think you even get a bag in GW for £15 anymore. That thing belongs in the museum. Thanks. Thanks very much. You see, you thought Ice Bear was joking about me being old enough to be his dad, and yet here we are. And yet here we are. It's very disappointing. Sorry, Kaz's message is at the bottom of YouTube. So every I look at it and I see the attacking a hard-working American and all the rest of it, like slowly chipping away at that, at the consciousness, at the well-being of everybody around me. Work here is nearly done. It's good. Anyway, we didn't want to talk about this. What's my age again, Hydra? What's my age again? I am old enough to be your dad. That's because you're like early 20s, I think, from memory. I am. It's very disappointing. 30 Australian dollars for a bunch of grey knights back in the day. Won't get those. No, you won't. I don't think. I think if you've only got $30, they're not going to let you in the store. It's quite scary. It really is quite scary when you look at the inflation, the price that they've gone up by. It's just nuts. It's I think I've mentioned this before. I have a lifelong dream. Life as I can, of running a full Aspect Warrior army for Eldar, because they're Eldar. I don't care what they've changed it to, that's the dream. And any time that I feel that little GW prickle in the back of the brain, I'm like, okay, let's look to see what it costs to get myself some Dark Reapers and some Dark Avengers and Sweeping Hawks, just some core units. And I normally get about 4 things in the basket and I nope out. That does it. That cures me for a period of time. I'm just like, no, I'm not spending that. What are you talking about? It is Garuda time. The Garuda is big for an ST miniature machine. You are quite right. The Garuda is quite big. And it is quite potent. It can do some real good work. More Eldfall, considering I've been tricked into getting some. You're not tricked. You're not tricked. Not at all. No. It's a good thing. Eldar, and you were calling me out about wanting to play wizards. Right, psychic powers are not magic. They are not excess. It's not the same thing. Oh, actually, Infinity question. Just sold most of my Warhammer terrain, looking to buy a full set of terrain. I already have 3 sets of the Darpan and 2 expansions. Someone already has micro-arts. I was thinking Brutal Cities, the lab expansions. Has anyone used those? I have a local who has, but I haven't myself. Which micro-arts has a local player got? Because there's 3 main sets. And I can never recommend those enough. If I didn't already own a bunch of Warhammer, I would never get into it. So many other games are better and offer a fraction of cost. Yep, true. Blissful, absolutely true. Yeah, for the prices I was looking at, it's almost like even the most basic models seem to run $15 to $25 per mini. Yeah, absolutely. It is scary. Micro art stuff is great. It is not the same thing, excess. Sorry that you don't understand the subtle nuances of the difference between psychic powers and magic. It's definitely a you problem, not a me problem. I spare. Reason I'm asking is because I think you're a decade older than my dad. Fudge. I don't know. No. What? No. Dear Lord. Eternity Labs. Don't know. Don't know Eternity Labs, Kaz. Anyone else had experience? I also heard a lot of good things about one-page rules. Yeah, I had a good chat with the one-page rules guys at an event 18 months, 2 years ago. Interesting guys with an interesting view of what wargaming can be, although subsequent to that they've started bringing out their own miniatures, which kind of, yeah, changes them from a miniature agnostic system to not, but that seems to be a trend at the moment, doesn't it? We're miniature agnostic, apart from when we're not. Who's to say? Infinity in that price range per model. Yes, that's but Rensselaers, that is for me the point. That yes, Infinity is at that price point. Warcrow is above that price point, but the volume that you need is much smaller. So yeah. Kaz is on Discord, yeah, as a UXS. Go into the Infinity side of things and ping each other there. You'll find Kaz easy enough, XS, because I think your name is very different on Discord. Yeah, Infinity is definitely, I mean, it's more expensive than it was, but it's still not, yeah, I'm fine. I'm okay with the price for Infinity at the moment, although I will say the price of the anaconda did make me let out an involuntary squeak of disappointment. Girl, yeah, I know who you are. I wasn't going to say it. We'd find each other on there and... You don't have a target on you. You're just a victim. It's a very different thing. I'm aware of the fact that it's the price of a tag and a pilot. Yeah, again, that also... I don't know. It feels... Do you know what I mean by perceived value? Everyone has that kind of price point where you look at it and you're like, that's kind of as far as I want to go. That's the point where, you know, it's a bit much. Oh, also, when I think about it, speaking about terrain, if any of you saw the Edo Kanto review on Friday, so the 3D printed stuff from Corvus Games Terrain, we are now in the last 14 hours of the Kickstarter for that. So if you have got a 3D printer or access to one and you do want some Infinity terrain, you should absolutely go and check that one out because, yeah, you really should. It's lovely stuff. It's very, very nice. I've got a paint on mine at some point, but yeah. But by the way, I think that actually I need to buy that as well. I need to pick that up. That's the thing I need to do. I just feel that price point for the anaconda and actually the iguana as well is just a bit beyond what I'm comfortable with. It's a bit more than I want to spend. And we all have a point. I mean, I think that's what it comes down to. Is you do have that point, you do have that area where you're like, yeah, I'm good with that. That's as much as I want to do, and I'm very much there with that. It's getting too much. I guess I could always just print that stuff instead of buying more. You could just do both, Kaz. That's the other option. I'm starting to get organised with my Infinity and see what I'm absolutely missing from the collection. I'm sure I need a few minis to make reasonable lists. What do you have at the moment, Blissful? Porque no Lostos. What? Rinsalius. I am still easily confused. My brain is still not there. I've had it a couple of times with the kids where they ask questions down and I was like... So my kids are Dutch, so they speak Dutch, and I can think in Dutch in certain areas. Oh, I shouldn't say that in front of people that know me over here. Anyway. Oh, why not both? It's too much. Anyway. But yeah, sometimes I find, especially when I'm ill, that my kids speak in Dutch and my brain just doesn't. I just have that horrible moment when my kids are talking to me and I'm like, It really sucks. Really, really sucks. Yeah, no, I know the one, the little girl, and yay! I know the one now that you're talking about. But I just, yeah, too much. Too expensive, I have to say. But yeah, Kaz, you should definitely print that stuff. The stuff is very good. I don't know, I didn't like the new iguana. I liked the old Iggy. I like the old Iggy very much. Oh, don't drop it. I think the old iguana is very pretty. It's a gorgeous miniature. It's got a lot of tood, a lot of presence on the board. Adore him. He's great. And the new one looks like, is it Cherno Alpha from Pacific Rim? The big blocky, yeah, Jaeger from that movie. It's just not my thing. There has been a shift in tag designs, and some of it I dig. I think the new Anaconda is pretty. I think it's very, very nice. Yeah, it is sweet, isn't it? It's so much easier learning a language when you're young. Yes, it is, Ice Bear Minir. I know it is. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that so much. You still here? It's definitely your bedtime. I have a reasonable amount of military orders and 2 other sectorials easily listed, but I purchased a 40 plus mini lot of hack and I haven't sorted. Dear Lord, man, if you can't make a list out of 40 miniatures, then you're just like me. One of those things. Just one of those things. Yeah. Ugh. A mallet is, the old school Anaconda is pretty sweet, but because we've gone from 28 to what, 35mm as the official scale for Infinity now, it's a little wee. It's a little bit small. Could do with being a bit bigger. Which is a bit disappointing, but you know, you can't have everything. You cannot have everything. It's mostly slender. Yes, it is. And it doesn't make a lot of sense. Oh God. Blissful Badger, is there anything you haven't bought? Yes, it was Ice Bear Mini. I know. I can hear the mockery. No, it's all good, bud. It does feel weird. The old Euros, lanky lass. Yes, very much so. The old school miniatures are just not what they should be. Right. How does right? Yes, but give me time. All good. All good. Right. So how does this work? There's supposed to be a button over here that I can do the... No, that's the... I know this is very interesting. I'm still trying to figure out certain things with this. I actually picked up a bunch of JSA myself. They are pretty. They are really pretty. My Anaconda looks weird. Leave my Anaconda alone. My Anaconda is unbuilt. Sorry. Who's... You know, that's not an Anaconda. I don't know what that is. It doesn't look well. Whatever. That's not an Anaconda. You monster. Poor thing. I actually have an Anaconda. I need to get that put together. And on the tabletop, because that's where it belongs. Actually, speaking of, the old Wolver 9th miniature of the dude jumping over the wall. It is an awful miniature. The old Wolver is an awful miniature, but it is not Cassandra Kusanagi original weird. Yes, the parkour Wolver Rinsalius, that was awful, but the old, I'm sorry, the old Cassandra Kusanagi with the skirts, that was dark. Yes, I can see, Nico, that you have committed a war crime against a perfectly acceptable miniature and turned it into that. I mean, I commend you. It's ingenious. I commend you that, but don't do that to Anaconda. It's a classic miniature. Horrible thing. Old Usha, yeah, she was pretty nightmare grade. Well, the problem that I had with Kusanagi is she was this really lumpy miniature. Hang on, because we're doing it now. Kusanagles, come here. Come here, love. The people who don't know need to see. I don't know why you'd ever design a miniature like this. But yes, they did. And here it is. Right. So, for those of you who've never had the pleasure of the old school Cassandra Kusanagles, legend that she was. So, get rid of that. You move here. So, this is the old school Cassandra Kusanagles. This is a metal miniature, first of all. Now, I'm just going to give you a second to appreciate all of that. What you can't see is that stick going up her skirt, jacket at the back. Where you'd hope that would go to something nice and solid, what that actually goes to is it's got a ball joint on the end, and then you have a socket that's supposed to fit into that's made up of multiple pieces of the jacket. trying to get that to stay on, because you have to get it on the base first, because you got to get the angle right so that she's not like looking down at the ground, looking up at the sky, that she's actually looking where she's going. So you need to attach the base bit to the base and then put her on there and hold her there. The number of times, because Lilith ran that for a while, and the number of times that I'd glue it and I'd sort of prop it up and all the rest of it, and then you come back and discover that it just sort of flopped over. Excuse me. It was terrible. It was absolutely dire, I have to say. I spare me here, but yeah, I'm still here trying to make good lists for learning K47 for the newcomer you introduced me to. Yes, yeah, problems, good friend. Don't, just be nice. I spare you. Just, she is looking for an intro, not, you know, just softly cuddly. It's going to be great. It did fall over. It was also very unstable, so it would drop over and all that kind of stuff. It was just a nightmare. You only just met the old school Kodali before she switched sides. Now that's a classic miniature also. It's holding up with hopes and dreams. Yeah, old Infinity Models assembly is something. If only someone invented pinning. Yeah, but not all of... Right, so you say that, Rincelius. Not all of it could be pinned, though, could it? Do you remember the shin guards for the Dakinis? Because I do. In the middle of the night, screamy, I still remember those damn horrible things. They were a crime against humanity. They remain a crime against humanity. So, let's see if I can find a decent... mutually exclusive term. I was going to say a decent picture. There's no such thing with those wretched, horrible things. There's one. That will do. Let's get this downloaded. Right. So. Oop. Okay. We're going to do one more show and tell because shared trauma is important. Boop. Boop. So, what you're looking at here, this is a Dakini TACbot for LF. Circa 2nd edition. What's important is these, the shin pieces here, because those don't go into anything. You just have to glue them at that angle to this kind of, just where this little bit of white ends, they kind of sit on there. There you go, there's a nice indication. The contact point was basically the bottom ridge of that piece of metal. That was it. That was your whole thing. Oh, they were horrible. Absolutely horrible. They were no, there was no need. There was no need for that as a thing. I have to say, there was never a need for that. Yeah, that, no, I wasn't a fan. I did all of them as well repeatedly. I don't expect... Oh, yeah, pano antennas. I'm doing some more of those at the moment because I'm back on Shock Army, so I have those. OG Karakuris. Yeah, OG Karakuri. I never had that much of a problem. I found the Dakinis worse than the Karakuris. Karakuris. I miss Karakuris. I'm so disappointed that we can't have them in Shinden. Single strand moustache bit from Melophosa. Yeah, but the Rincelius, that's, yeah, that stuff was nuts. And the rats and stuff like that inside. I have some miniatures. There's one miniature that I have for Mally in the other room that I've started to build, and I got so far with it and I was like, nah, done, go in the box. Yeah. That's crying for tactical rock and a half. Yes, it is, Kaz, you're quite right. How spare? Oh, definitely. I just want her to face a couple of cool units and the interactions. The US Mark 10 is bringing also has cool interactions. Yeah, no, absolutely. I trust you. That's why I put you guys in contact. I know you do a fantastic job and help her into the system, so complete faith. Love a good tactical rock, hence I need the Juggernaut. That is not a tactical rock, that's a tactical cliff face on that damn thing. You have that Dakini Tech Bot? Classic miniature. Those are nice miniatures. They're also very old. Excuse me. And a bag of those shin plates. Oh God. Yeah, the trauma. Don't. I'm fine. I'm beyond it. I'm fine. Rincelius is 50% of the mass of the Juggernaut is the tactical cliff face. It's just, I'm so, I think I said on the review, I was so frustrated. Gene Dean in the house. Good to see you, buddy. One of the longest standing supporters of the channel and a genuine legend, War Machine aficionado extraordinaire. Good to see you, buddy. Are you well? What's new with you? I know you're the only 2 players currently, but if I didn't trust you, I'd have said that we couldn't teach you to play, bluntly. That has happened with other systems in the past. There are people that I wouldn't trust to demo and get people into the system, and there's people that I would. So I'm glad that you're there to take on the Conflict 47 newbie and show her how to play the game. It's, you know, it's important. It is important. But yeah, the choices that they made with the Juggernaut I mean, the tactical cliff face is one thing. But what they could have done is had the feet go into a slot in the tactical cliff face. But they didn't. They had the legs go into a slot in the tactical cliff face, and the feet are already part of it. So if you want to put it on something else, you can't, and it's just dumb. I'll be taking no questions on that one. Dumb. Stevie now has the January shinies. They are RRPs though. You're waiting for Catharsis 46. What's Catharsis 46? Now I'm confused. Now I'm completely confused. Yeah, well, they're shipping early, aren't they? Because I think, where is it? They're shipping the December stuff already. Yeah, I know. Don't do that. That's annoying. Oh. Oh, the Infinity Web Store is offline. That's exciting. Why is that not working? Oh no, just the Infinity website. That's great. Oh, the Zybeck, yeah. Liberated, Feudum, the Anaconda, those are all shipping now. Which is interesting. Although I have to say the stuff for January, I'm very tempted. As I said on the review discussion, really tempted by those CN and Elf dudes for Warcrow. I'm trying not to take that as well. I don't want to. Clouded. Thank you, Rincelius. Yes, absolutely. I don't want all of the things, but it's very tempting. Oh. Otto, you made it. Otto made it onto Discord. Welcome, buddy. Welcome to the madhouse. I'm guessing Otto is autopoetic, which is utterly awesome. Oh, waking dog. You alright about there? Am I making too much noise? Come on, lie down. What happens when you're an old dog and you just want to sleep all the time? Somebody keeps making noise. Come here, get your fluffy butt up here. Come say hello. Thank you. There you go, bit of dog time. Bit of fluffy dog time. Getting a free scratch. That's always nice, isn't it? That is always nice. You have very warm paws. Yes. Does that mean we get tea? You don't get tea. Well, what you'd call tea. I'm happy to make somebody a cup of Yorkshire tea with some milk in it, but I don't think you'd like it. And this is many things, but it's not a puppy. It's getting on for nearly 11 years old. Stopped being a puppy 6 months ago. Why are you trying to write your name? That's really weird. An old dog's old dog. What? Excuse me? Damn, Rincilius. Harsh. Dark Panther. Now that would look nice. About time for me to commute on homewards. Fun streams always. Take care. Well, always a pleasure. Safe home. Girl. Good girl. They'd have put your name in the friendly filter. Yeah, no, to be fair, that is perfectly reasonable. No, I think Streamlabs just isn't helping. There's a couple of things that it does that drive me sideways. Completely unhelpful. Oh my goodness me, this cough. Let's see how much longer we can go for tonight, because I've got a load of recording to do for you guys over the next couple of days. And if I blow my voice out, not good. Not good. You saw the doggo and you're excited, which is perfectly reasonable. Perfectly reasonable. She is adorable. There's actually two down there. The other one you can't see. He's staying out the way. He's actually laying balls to Jesus currently, on his back, legs in the air, asleep. Don't know who learned that from. Anyway, moving on. We were going to talk. Yes, that's where I was going. I was just about to go there, Access. 2 doggos will overpower me. I spend most of my life outnumbered, but I'm never outgunned, Larkbeard. That's my whole thing. Hence Hydra. Anywho. Smooth segue, right? So, intent. This was being discussed the other day on Discord, whether you should play with intent or not, essentially. So, let's delineate what we mean with those two things. With the way that Infinity is written, the way it's structured, in many ways, especially in previous editions, less so in N5, but in N4, certainly in N3, it's something for campers. Woo! Intent, it came to me in a flash of genius, which hence the thumbnail. Anyway, stop distracting me. So, there is a whole thing of, if you make decisions inside of Infinity, you can be in a position where you get blindsided by something. It doesn't sound fun, but that's not being fair. Something can pop out of that you didn't know was there. It can suddenly appear on the board, or you can get shot in the back, or all this kind of stuff that can really blindside you. And because your miniatures can only see, for example, the front 180, where you position them, where you leave them, is crucial. When they move, they have a 360-degree line of fire. When they stop, that front 180 is what they see. I see puns work. I know, yeah, puns always work. Of course they do. It's sarcasm and puns. It's one of our major exports. And me. So, yes. That moment where you realise you done did stupid is really important. And you also have, like, issues where, for example, let's have a look. Do I have one that's useful? I don't have one that's useful, actually, because that doesn't really work. But you get miniatures that have a lot of things. So here's a miniature with the front 180 marked. You've got the edge over this side and then round to there. So that's his front 180. This is what he can see. He can't see round here. This is completely a mystery to my friend here. Now, you get some miniatures that their weapon protrudes a lot further than this one. I mean, this one's pretty bad. You can't get him in base-to-base contact with a wall. It's not going to happen because his gun's in the way. You have to angle him slightly. Some of them are much worse. They have a lot more sticking out the front that really means they can't get close to a wall. Why does that matter? Because in Infinity, you have to be in base-to-base contact with a piece of terrain to be in cover. that is one of the requirements. So you've got this front 180, you've got the base to base, and all this kind of stuff. If you play without intent, so without what I meant to happen was, then the game gets a lot harder. Because you have to be incredibly exacting with your measurements, you have to be incredibly precise with everything that you do, and any mistake that you make, no matter how small, can and will be punished. It's that simple. Ice Bear Minute, you do have to love Boating with Boatface. He was genius, and this is why you can't ask anything nice of English people, because we're not to be trusted. Don't ask us for anything sincere. We don't do sincere. It's incredibly not one of the options. You heard the word intent. You did indeed, Jindy. So intent is, if you play with intent, it means that you can say, what I intend to do here is this. If you play without intent, it means whatever you did is what happened. It doesn't matter what you meant, this is what you did. There was a point where Corvus Belli, Manufacturers of Infinity, came out officially and said, intent is not a thing. Yeah, I think the video still exists, where they were very clear. Intent is not a thing in Infinity. And I was incredibly proud of most communities for Infinity, because the overall response was, it might not be for you, Poppet, but it is for us. Which was really lovely to see. It was really, really, really good to see and hear. Because the problem with playing without intent, and probably with playing to exact actions, is everything slows down. Everything slows down. You make that move, you have to measure it exactly, and you have to, before you let go of the miniature, be like, have I got the exact angle that I want? Can I only see... There's a thing inside of Infinity called splitting the pie. I can see you if you can see me. So if you have two enemies stood side by side and you're coming around a corner, there will be a point where you can see enemy A but not enemy B. Without intent, you have to get down and you have to look and position the dude. And I think it's probably no. Right, that's where he is. And then player two, your enemy, goes, I think, can number two... There's this whole dragging effect of you need to be exacting. You need to be 100% precise at any given moment. And it just slows the game down so markedly. It just really, really slows down the game. Unless I'm playing competitive, I'm always going by intent. I hear you, Ice Bear, but even competitively with a system like Infinity, because there are so many rules inside the game that are incredibly, by necessity, specific and very constricting. If you play the ones that aren't without intent, the game just grinds. It just becomes this of millimeters of, you know, and a 300-point game, a standard game of Infin, when you are experienced, is a 2.5 hour experience. When you're new, I mean, we've got newbies that have taken 5 or 6 hours for a single game and not finished it. You inject needing to not use intent into that, and it just becomes this absolute marathon of pedantry of, oh no, I can, that X millimeter of your silhouette is viewable from this exact position of, yeah, it stops being fun. With slicing the pie and stuff, intent just makes the game so smooth. It does make it go smoother, and it's exactly that. Competitive just a pretext to pester the TA with questions, don't I? You're quite right. You are quite right. Even YouTube thinks I'm below 18. You're a child. It's very disappointing. Anyway, so, Dean, with your experience, you had, as I understand it, a newbie who decided that you failed to upset your new TA last time. You can have another go. You can it's always an opportunity. You've got events coming. I need to talk about that at some point. But yeah, with your newbie, Gene Dean, so what I understand is you had a newbie who decided to be incredibly picky and decided to be incredibly like, actually, about things. When I've demoed to people like that, I've cranked my pedantry up to 11 for a turn and then had the conversation and be like, you see how much fun that wasn't? Do you see how rubbish that was as an experience? If we're both going to spend our time picking over 2mm here, 3mm there, this isn't fun. This isn't fun for anyone because we're not playing the game. We are measuring the millimeters. We are looking at the slightest of angles. We're disagreeing over whether, actually in this situation, I think you'll find. And it breaks that contract to primarily, between two players, have fun. Because that should be what you're there to do. And if you're having to play in a way that's removing that, then hopefully when you illustrate that in the most extreme way, your opponent picks up the point. Mine was we were playing by intent until he tried not to lose to a crit. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Okay, so the other way. Oh yeah, it's all fun and games, but now actually, in this situation, I hear you. That's what we call a gamey piece of... Anyway. Goes from game of Spaniards to game of Britons. Excuse me? How is it a game of Britons when we start... Excuse me? I'm medium offended. I was going to say vaguely offended. I'm medium offended. How rude. Nitpicking? We do not nitpick. We are selectively accurate. I'll have you know I'm a good TO. It's the national sport, isn't it? No. That's casual racism and drinking tea. It's an easy thing to mistake. Anyway, we've all been there. Colonisations. And black humour, in case you're not familiar. Really dark humour. It's really hard, actually. It's one of the things that I had to sort of take to the garden and shoot when I moved to the Netherlands. There was a lot of my dark humour because it just doesn't fly. And you just can't. It's like, damn it. But you know, try. Good job, G&D. Good job. It's a shame when you have to do it, but selectively accurate. It's nice being selectively accurate. It matters when it's to my advantage. Pommy dark humour is the best. Now you've said it, Frosty. I'm not going to disagree with you. You know, kind of fun. But it's also a coping mechanism because that way we don't have to deal with our genuine emotions. You know, you just need the right audience for the dark humour. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. That is absolutely right. But it can be a challenge finding it. What is even more disturbing is that my goddess-like Dutch wife, who has now been with me nearly 10 years, has developed the English dark humour. And it's, yeah, in her day job where she works with other Dutch people and people of other nationalities, it sometimes comes to the fore and apparently has resulted in shocked silences in meetings when she's just, you know, brought one to the fore at a moment that just was reactive rather than a conscious effort. And yeah, we will win there. Congratulations on finding a goddess-like deaf Dutch lady. How is she? She's not deaf. She's a delight. I moved from Canada to Scotland 3 years ago and quickly learned that dark humour is the national language. It really is. I mean, the Scottish will steal anything, so they nick that from the English. But, you know, it's one of those things. Bless them. Love them dearly. It's nice that they can have something good from England up north. You know, it's good. It's good for them. It's nice. She is a goddess-like lady, though. I have to say. Quite short for a Dutch person. Most Dutch people make me feel tiny. But I found one that was quite, you know, pygmy. British, complaining about nicking. We were preserving culture, don't start. We didn't steal anything, we just preserved cultures from the uncultured natives, because, you know, you've got to look after their stuff if they're not going to. It's clearly how that happened. Moving on. So yeah, intent. Intent is, it's just the oil that makes a nice, smooth, enjoyable experience for all involved. And anyone that wants to play without it is normally looking to use pedantry to develop an advantage, and it should be an alarm bell. If you're new to something like Infinity, Eldfall actually, because there is a lot of crunch in there, you take somebody wanting to play without intent and wanting to play incredibly accurately as a warning sign of the type of person that you're up against, and never be afraid to turn around and say, actually, I'll pass. That's not how I like to play the game. I'd rather not. There's nothing wrong with that. It's better to not play a game than to have a bad experience, in my opinion. So yeah, tell that to the eaten mutton. Sorry, who ate the kid? Anyway, the fact that Infinity can't be played with someone that's of bad faith cheating, I mentioned it. No, absolutely. If you have somebody that's playing in bad faith, or they are cheating, and I have come across that a couple of times, then the game ceases to function in a manageable fashion. It stops being a thing. So you're 5'10". Oh my God, you're tiny. Dear Lord. I didn't realise you were pocket-sized, Ice Bearman here. You seem taller. It's your personality makes you seem taller. Bless you. Uncultured natives. America. I'm not going to get involved in that discussion. There's an Australian and an American in the room at the moment. I'm not going to talk about any of the colonies because, you know, I like both of you and I have respect for both of you. Okay, I like both of you. I don't want to be mean. It's just, you know. Anywho, moving on. It's better for the cinematic theme of the game as well. Playing with intent. Absolutely. Absolutely, Machine. I agree with you. Because Infinity is a game that can get locked in its rules, because you have a lot of interconnected rules that sort of this, then this, then this, and this, and this, and that all balances out to result in Y. And you're like, oh, okay. If you get locked in the pedantry, then those two things just make it, you know, it just stops it being fun. It just stops it being an experience. And as you say, Machine, Infinity is great for those cinematic moments where this guy charges across the field, he does a backflip, he spins around the corner, lobs a grenade in that direction, shoots a guy over here, and then wins the game with a punch. That's what Infinity do, and that's why we love it. So you don't want to overwhelm the natives with big words. I mean, I didn't say that. So yes, that's all I'm going to say. I didn't say that. So you never wrote natives. Oh, I see. You meant it though, didn't you? Didn't you, colonizer? Anyway, I will be honest. If I could, I would move to Europe in a heartbeat. Kaz, we'd welcome you, and you and I would game. It would be glorious. It would be glorious. In fact, I've got a wonderful community that would welcome you. I know you're not British. I'm deliberately, just so we're clear, I am accentuating my glottal stop, dropping the T, that's called a glottal stop. I'm accentuating it to work for you in Solius. But you're Belgian, aren't you? Come to Australia. Just no crazy Americanisms, and you have to swear allegiance to the king. Also, wargaming is crazy expensive down here. I think you just have to, it's not necessarily allegiance to the king, you just have to swear generally, in my experience with Australians. It's really lovely to see the things you can do with bad language. I'm genuinely impressed. It's nice to see. You know, it's kind of, you kind of have people from Liverpool and then Australians when it comes to swearing. That's the kind of hierarchy in my experience. You're adding the T. Where are you from then, Minselias? I thought I knew who you were. I obviously don't. I'm terribly sorry. I thought you were someone else. Are you Dutch? I'm adding the D. We always add the tea, especially with milk. I'm French. Dad's from there, family's from there. I don't swear no rot. You do sweat, but you don't. Yeah. I've known plenty of Aussies. It's the C word. The way in which a lot of Aussies that I've met use the C word like it's salt at the dinner table is divine. It does the heart good. You're French, Cass. Okay, you're in the presence of an Englishman. Yeah, go with European. Works better. I did join with the Belgians. Last event I joined. Well, that's not helping. Where are you? When did you last? I don't know. I probably do. I'm ill. Don't be mean to me. But yes, you should definitely move, Kaz. It's rather nice over here. I can recommend the Netherlands. Lovely people. C-bomb is our friendly word. Mate is the mighty word. Absolutely. In fact, it's the same in the UK. Between males, your closest friends, in certain parts, not all, but in certain parts, certainly where I'm from, south central part of the UK, the C-bomb is a friendly greeting. That is legitimately how I open doors to friends. Evening. Especially good if you add a Y on the end. It's just nice. So anyway, that's enough about that. Excuse me a second. Need to die again. It was the late September one. My goodness. Do you know how... You have any idea how busy I am? Late September one. So that was not last one. Not the last two escalation leagues that I ran, but the one before that. Yeah, Americans get very funny about the C-bomb. If only job pays too much and my wife and daughter are too entrenched in the community. That's disappointing, Kaz. You just have to come over for holidays. Definitely you should visit. I spent 6 months trying to teach American. Yeah, there's certain things Americans can't get, and using the C-bomb convincingly and in context, they struggle with it. September 25th, apparently. Damn. Do you have any idea how many gamers I meet on a regular basis? That's really disappointing. I'm sorry, dude. Remind me where you're from. That will help. Something I keep forgetting to ask, whenever you talk about your channel, you use we. Is that a royal we, or do you have more people working with you behind the scenes? It's mostly me, but I do have some bits and pieces of people that help out with various things. Mostly I can't get... So my wife will help with some bits occasionally. I've had some other friends that have done other bits and pieces over the years. It's mostly me. Until the revenue comes up, and as soon as the revenue comes up, I'm getting a video editor, and dear God, are you guys going to get some content? I have so much I have to do, but I'm limited by editing time. So he's just insane. We're all insane here. Have you seen Split? Yeah, those are rookie numbers between your ears. Anyway. Have you got any experience with the Eldfall dungeon crawler? No, because no. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. You can't make me, Frosty. I'm not doing it. What do I know about it? It is supposedly very, very good. A lot of fun, well crafted, gorgeous miniatures, a really, really great experience. I'm not going near it. I'm not. I have so many miniatures. I have too many miniatures. I have more on the way. Start of next year, when Flames of War drops into early war, I kind of want to hop into that again. Oh God, I don't have the, I don't have the space. So adding that dungeon crawler, I had it actually on order at one point. It was in my paws. It was purchased. I was like, nope, cancelled it. Well, I'll do it then, because there aren't any Eldfall players down here yet. Need something to draw them in. Do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Hopefully, Frosty, you'll even win yourself a 2-player starter set courtesy of the Dice Gods and Free Company, manufacturers of Eldfall Chronicles, because you became a member last week on a live stream, I think it was. And therefore you're in with a chance to win, because in case I hadn't mentioned it, if you become a member on YouTube, or you become a subscriber on Twitch, or you give a super chat over on YouTube, or you do bits over on Twitch, then you get entered in to the draw. And as many times as you do those things, there's no limit, you can do it as many times as you want, because I'm nice like that. Yeah, you do the thing and then you get the stuff. That's kind of how it is. So if you haven't, then do please consider becoming a subscriber on Twitch, a member over on YouTube or Patreon. That counts too. During the streams, anyone that joins there gets that count, enter, draw thing, stuff. Very exciting. So yeah, please do consider doing that, because it helps me do more stuff, and you could win stuff. So there's that, and you can choose which of the 2 player starter sets you want, and the right one is Soga versus Helion, because, you know, good skies. So, yeah. Also, that's mean. That's cold. That's my plan too. I'm starting with Northern Winds and roping in unsuspecting Warcrow players. That's cold. That is cold. You know how you wish your game was? Have you met Eldfall? Come over here. Damn. Damn, that's cold. I've mentioned in the past 2 weeks, so I've mentioned before, I'm part of the... Hey, Kaz! Do the thing, get the stuff, click the things that make dings. Thank you very much, Kaz, for the super chat over on YouTube. That's very kind. In the list you go to get the stuff, winning the things. Thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate that. That's very kind. Yeah, in the past 2 weeks, I'm part of the content creator program for Corvus Belli. So they have an official thing, and you do the thing, and then you have the Discord. Twice in the last 2 weeks, I've had a bit of a word. Once about Seocast, and another time actually about their marketing for Warcrow, and just said, you know, we're out here trying to promote this stuff. We're out here trying to push this stuff, and you're not helping me. You're not helping me at all. And it's really frustrating. It is incredibly frustrating. It doesn't matter where you go with Warcrow. You're going to run face first into, yeah, but Seocast. And I don't have it in me to go, no, Seocast is fantastic. Because it's not. It's not. And it's so annoying. It's so frustrating. And then they do stupid things like putting out social media stuff with incorrect words in it. That it's just been badly translated, but... So yes, yeah, a large amount of it does seem to be coming out in Unicall, that's true, but not all of it. So like the basic line troopers, so half of the Song of the Dormant box was Seocast, including the line infantry from Scions, which has just been released in its own box and is still Seocast. And I'm just like, could we not even say that we did? Could we just not? I'd be very happy with that, to be honest with you. That would make me very happy in my pants and everywhere else. Machine, very good at completing your priming of your NCA. Start work on your bulk paint. Are they going purple and yellow, the same as the rest? Also, they won't be able to resist the Unicall. That's the problem with Unicall. And even when you have the Unicalls that is for Warcrow, it's nice. You know, it's just nice. I had this the other day. You know, we had the come here, I'm getting you out again. And these miniatures are just lovely. It's just a nice miniature. Come on. And then in the same box as this. We get that. It's just not. It's just soft and. I mean, this is some of the best Seocast I've seen, to be fair, but it's still just not. It's not nice. I'm not happy about it. Makes me very cross. Oh, Frosty, thank you very, very much. That's very, very kind. Cass made me do it. Cass does do stuff like that. He's a natural leader. It's his natural charisma. That's the thing. It's good. It's good to see you two colonials joining up and supporting the channel. Appreciate that, lads. Otto, I don't know that about Song of the Dormant was the other half metal. No. There's 50% Seocast, 50% Unical. So 50% of it is absolutely gorgeous. Then you have the other half. And it's like one squad of Feudum is Unical and the rest is Seocast, and one squad of Scions is Seocast and the rest is Unical. I went Scions. I was a bit happier, you know, but still, yeah. On the other hand, Guardians and Sprigs are Unical, which is great. Spike Lady is a really cool miniature. She really is, especially with what she does in game. So good. You're soft. Does it? No, not going there. You can't even make me. I nearly did, but no. The Gersamiers. Gisamiers. I can never remember how to pronounce that one. Gisamiers are Seocast. I had to do, when I did the releases for January for Warcrow, I had to watch the YouTube bit where they talk about the Gisamiers. Yeah, those. Remember the pronunciation, then quickly do the video. As a professional. And yeah, I can see why. I can see why. I've got a buddy who ran his Feudum for the first time. He took them, lovely, got them all ready, stuck them in a transport box, a miniature transport box, foam, everything. Took them to the first game. So car, table, and some of them broke. And I don't mean like they came apart. I mean like the blades and stuff broke off. So yes, Otto, the best time for you to roll out some of those Unical Eldfall miniatures will be just after they've opened a box of Warcrow and gone, oh. That's the perfect moment. You go, have you seen this? And it's cheaper. I'm dreaming of sending you creepy clips of saying the French word properly so you can just throw photorealistic lips for those soundbites. Adding them in over your face. I live for the... Basically, if I mispronounce stuff, it's free engagement because there'll always be somebody in the comments, well, actually, you know, I screwed it up. It's fine. I don't think we're quite ready to have your lips superimposed on my face yet. Not yet. Soon. Not yet. Maybe soon. But yeah. Damn it. I know. I ruin everything. I do ruin everything. What else did I want to talk about tonight? I'm going to talk about Eldfall. Yeah, we got that coming up. At the moment, I sat down and started running through all the things that because it's 2026, I organised the local gaming nights. So I have to book them all in advance, and that's all going on at the moment. Toing and froing with that gorgeous goddess Dutch woman of when and where and how and all the rest of it. And I sat down and I wrote out all the things that I want to do for the next 12 months for the community. And I think I have 14 events that I want to run over the next 12 months. No one's entirely sure how that happened, but it has. It's going to be a busy year. Although thankfully, I think the first tournament I think is going to be an invitational. I'm not running it. Somebody else is TOing it, which is good. So I don't have to worry about that too much. I can just... I'm stuck on a narrative one late January, early Feb. After that, I'll see. Yeah, I'm running a narrative event starting in February, which will run for 9 months for Infinity. I've got that coming up. about organising an event. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, so I've got this 9-month, that's for our local community. We have 20 players, which is just bonkers. So I've got 20 players in a narrative event, which is going to run for 9 months. So that's really cool. There's a lot of hype running around on that at the moment. The guys are writing their own lore, and they've teamed up and they've sorted that stuff out, and they're now like moving on to the next stages of bits and pieces. So the Redlands, it's called, that starts in February, and then we have, I think, we have 3 Infinity tournaments. So there will be, I think, an Invitational, a Standard, and a Beginner. Then we have the Satellite event in May, so that'll be Infinity. Then I have an Escalation League for Infinity end of the year. 2 Escalation events for Bolt Action, and I think 3 or 4 tournaments I want to plan in as well. So it's going to be a busy one. A trip to Riga. Oh, thank you, Blob. Thank you for raiding. That's very kind. Good evening. Have you finished streaming, buddy? XS, yes, I'm sure everybody would love to see a travel documentary on your channel of me going to Riga. I don't think that Riga's going to fit because of where it sits. So I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. I'd love to, but I think because we've got the Satellite tournament in May, because I think it was April, wasn't it, Riga? I think, confirm that one. There was something about it that smelled funny. Well, good job. Thank you for finishing your stream and then raiding mine. I appreciate that. Seacast brought me from getting all Scions and Feudum releases to just picking up Genevieve. Yeah, I can understand that little stinker. I absolutely can. It's just so disappointing, so frustrating. Hey, Moby Geeks out. Good to see you again, buddy. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Good to see you. Riga's last week of April. Yeah, it's last week in May is the Satellite, but I plan to be... Nexus Nemesis, hello, good evening, and welcome. I plan to be... Oh, Kaz, thank you for hanging out, buddy. Thank you for the super chat as well. I appreciate that immensely. It was very kind of you. Didn't catch the username. Whose username? Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to work, XS, unfortunately. Unfortunately, disappointingly. But yeah, having said that, I think I'm actually going to be off as well, because although it's not too late, I can feel my voice starting to get messed up again, and I've got a lot of recording to do over the next couple of days. This gent is Dice God, aka Hydra, aka level 420. Right, first, it's not OnlyFans, it's Only Dice. I've told you this before. I'm only on Only Dice, that's exclusive. And clog level 420, dear Lord, the world is not ready. But I am going to make a bid for freedom, because I do want to save this voice so I can actually do some videos for all of you over the next few days. Because I need to. So if you are planning to get in on entering to join the draw for Eldfall Chronicles 2 player, this is your last moment. And don't forget, if you do have Prime membership, you can become a subscriber on Twitch for free. But plenty of videos coming this week, at least 2, maybe 4. We'll see how it goes, see how this holds up. But thank you all so very much. You all have a great time. Thank you for hanging out with me. It's been a blast as ever. And I'll see you Thursday afternoon for painting on Twitch. And videos and stuff to come. Take care. You all have a great week. Love you greatly. Bye.